Hey everyone, Marsh from Consequence here. We're going to go over Igira, the second boss. We're going to be looking at Mythic, but we're going to talk about Heroic a lot. So basically here, the general gist of the fight is that you're going to have these three weapons, and everything plays around these three weapons. The main difference is in Heroic, whatever weapon you soak or activate is going to be what the boss ability is. On Mythic, the one you quote unquote soak or activate, the other two are going to be active, making the phase probably like double as hard. Or probably more than that, but it's going to make the phase harder. Instead of dealing one, you deal with two. And how those interact is how you're going to handle things. So we're going to look at the Mythic VOD, but a lot of the heroic things come into play. So these spears here are the core mechanic of just the boss itself. He does two things. He cleaves the tank and standing next to the closest target, so the melee can never be on the tank. Extremely important information. And he has these spears. This drop is what we were doing. This drop is not what I recommend. The reason is melee have basically nowhere to stand if someone moves one hair out of place. So what we ended up deciding is you basically take these drops, um, and like you move them back a little like this, like we're like here and then here. The melee have a lot of free room. Um, the reason this is good is because the boss is taking max. You can just hit the boss and it does max cleave and everything. But if these were like 2 yards here and 2 yards here, it really wouldn't make too much of a difference. So it's just way safer. Um, so these spears work in a few ways, and there's a few guidelines we follow. They will basically root the player within the circle of lava, as well as grip the player back if they leave that circle. The other thing is we followed some rules, and you'll see one of the rules here. The first rule is we never triple stack. And you can see he was looking at triple stack. He was looking to double stack with this group, but someone else is there, so he's going to run over here and double stack with this person, which is correct. Double stack is best. If you cannot double stack, it is okay. As you can see, these actually this is actually a really good example. So you can see the double stack going here, and then this guy sees him moving in, and then is like, oh my god, we're gonna get triple stack. So he actually runs over here, and they do two solos. That's completely fine. There is nothing wrong at all with that strategy. Um, oops, nothing wrong with that strategy at all. That's actually probably pretty preferred, if you can pull it off. The only issue with doing this is you can't cleave by the tank. He also does the sword mechanic here. He'll drop some stuff on the ground, then push him out. Just don't get hit. You can stand in between them if you're at range. Melee can probably just go around the boss really quick. And here comes the first weapon charge. Now we are trying a bunch of things. However, we'll just go over them real quick. So, the axe is the group soak, and the stun is not true anymore. It puts a debuff on you that allows you not to take it again. So I'm just going to remove this. This is old. The sword is the boss will jump to a player, and it's kind of up for debate. We think it's the two furthest players, and we'll talk about how you deal with that. And then the dagger is the healing absorb. So what you're going to see here is in this poll, and we did a bunch of different combos. We took the sword. Did it not save? Okay, so I put it here. We got the sword, so that's going to activate the group soak and the healing absorb. So the way it's going to work is the healing absorb is going to pick, at least the last testing, 10 players. In Heroic, it might be weirdly more because of scaling, but it's going to be about half your raid. Is going to get the healing absorb, and once it heals off, they explode. You have to dodge the things that makes them explode. And then the group soak is you need to have players soak a circle that's on the tank, and the more people in there, the less damage it does. And so the general, like, we'll just talk about what we do. Let me just talk about individually what you would do. So if you're just doing the healing absorb, those players in heroic will just run out of the raid, heal them. Don't run too far and just dodge. Very simple. It's not going to kill you. It's the second boss. The jump, you're going to want to have two players stand out, and really good class for that is like mage and hunter. They stand out furthest. It's always should bait onto them and then onto someone at random. We would use movement speed assignments to get out of those. The group soak, you just split up your raid half and half. Half takes the first hit, the other half takes the second hit. That's it. So that's how heroic works. Now, for Mythic, what you're going to see here is we took the sword, so it's going to activate the group soak and the healing absorb. One thing to note is when you take one of these, you cannot soak it again. I don't know if it works like that in heroic, but it's definitely like that in Mythic. So because this intermission is doing so little damage, we had our healers and like maybe one or two extra people go into the first one. Maybe it was like our healers and tanks or something. Go into the first one because they don't need to be on the boss, and getting them free to heal, like, in the later parts of the fight where it's more challenging, is going to be really beneficial. So we put them in the first one where there's nothing going on. So here you're going to have activating of the two weapons, and we'll start speeding things up a little. So right now you're going to have the healing absorb, and it's going to take 10 players. The way we are trying to do this is if you don't get a circle, you are going to soak. Now, we actually didn't know this combo was happening because we just completely forgot. But ideally, like, he would have been in, he would have been in, he would have been in, he would have been in. So we just had enough people in there in melee alone to barely live. And then those guys step out and they get healed. And then the process repeats one more time. So you haven't seen chains yet. The timing is going to be a little tighter on the second one. Oh, these are the blades. You just dodge. You can stand in the middle like him, but you can dodge. You can dodge. So you'll see the healing absorb again. Now notice he didn't have the last one, so he knows he's going to have this one. So he gets this one, and now anyone who doesn't get it is going in the soak. This time we're more prepared, and we take way less damage. These are healed off. You're going to want to have healing CDs assigned to get these off. Ideally, you dodge, and that's it. And now you're going to get two sets of chain drops. Again, you can see like we kind of push forward a little. This ideally is here, and this is ideally here. But we're going to get two sets of those. Here's another example. And now we're going to soak again. So let's see which one we take out. I think we're talking about it. So we're taking out this right one here. So let's look at the diagram. This is the healing absorb. So no healing absorb. Yes, the jump. Yes, the group soak. Now I kind of want to talk about the order. On like in heroic, it's not going to matter what you do. The jump's the easiest in heroic, so maybe just do that first to ensure you have as many people alive as possible. But you can do anything in heroic. Maybe the group soak's actually really, really easy now. With the stun, it used to not be as free. But in heroic, doesn't matter. Healing absorb's probably the hardest one, so you do one of these two, then the other one, and then the healing absorb last. In Mythic, so now we're getting rid of the healing absorb. We have jump and group soak. The idea is we want to split up both healing absorbs, one for the beginning of the fight and one for the end of the fight. The reason is you need healing CDs to heal them up. And if you have them back to back, you're not going to have healing CDs up, and it could be a disaster. Maybe it's tuned in a way that doesn't matter, but that's our thought process. So you can see us taking out the healing absorb one for this set, but we have a group soak and then a jump. So it's going to target one of the two furthest players, which was these two targets. But it's okay, and we're using movement speed here. We have like a wind rush and a roar or something, and we're just grooving. There's the wind rush. So everyone's picking up their speed. It lasts for a few seconds. And now again, you're going to have the blades. These are just going to happen a few times. And it's going to be the same thing, but the timing's going to be a little tighter. You're going to have the group soak. So anyone who didn't go in the first one goes in the second one. And then you're going to have the jump going on the two furthest players. Yep, there is one of them out there. So he goes. That's one. And we might use a roar here. Yep, there's the roar. That's two. and now we're just going to get 2 sets of spears. And like here's an example of it just like not really mattering. Because of the jump, the boss is over here, but like it just doesn't matter. You can just kill the spears, they have 4 million health. So in this situation, Melee's crying, like where is Melee standing? They probably just have to stand in one. So this is a really bad job by the raid, but it doesn't matter. And now we're soaking the last set. Remember, you have to have different soakers for every set. So he didn't do the first 2, and now he's in the last one. So now, hopefully we get to see it. So here's the healing absorb and the jump. So you notice he's trying to bait out the jump here as the furthest player. And he gets it with the healing absorb. So they're heal, 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 heal. Jump comes out. Movement speed comes out. It's a wind rush. You can see it down there. And now it's just a dodge fiesta. And you're going to get that one more time. But I think we're just going to go ahead and kill the boss. So we'll see it here for a second, but that's it. That's how the boss works. So just general tips and tricks. And this raid plan's available for you guys. But the idea here, okay, so we had it. The idea here is in heroic difficulty, you probably want to do the healing last. It's technically the hardest one. The jump's probably the easiest one, and then the group soak. Or it's really toss up. You'll have to do 2 no matter what. You want to lust on pull. In Mythic, you want to split up the healing absorbs. And for the drops, we don't advise going up like we were here. It just gives Melee no place to stand. Have Melee stand under the boss if they get it. It's extremely rare if they do. If they can see and just walk out and stack on one person, that's fine as well. But that was like the general rule we had. Other than that, that is the second boss. More guides to come. Peace.